Hey guys, welcome to another great episode of Jaycees TV. Today we get to have two great guests that personify what leadership is, and I'm excited to have Peter Behrmann, the state Michigan Jaycees president, and Councilwoman Megan Maiani on the show today. We're really excited to hear what they have to say, some of the upcoming projects that they're going to talk about, and just to hear the leadership side of what the Jaycees are about. Get ready for a great show. Thanks for tuning in to Jaycees TV. We're here with our first guest and the president of the Michigan Jaycees, who I'm honored to have on the show, Peter Behrmann, and also honored to call you my friend. Thanks for being on the show, Pete.
Thank you, Mr. Fappus.
Excellent. So one thing we wanted to lead off with, since we don't get such high on the totem pole guests at our show all the time.
I'm so high on the totem pole.
For the Michigan Jaycees, you are the top dog. So what does a state president do for the Michigan Jaycees?
Well, one of my main responsibilities this year is just being a bridge from the state to our local chapters. We have chapters throughout the entire state, and just being there for our local presidents, encouraging them, giving them the support they need, making sure that they're aware of the support that the state can offer them, and
Excellent.
more importantly, promoting our state events. We have several leadership conferences we do a year spread throughout the state, and just really being there to support our membership.
Excellent. It's a pretty interesting role, and to get to be on top of everybody, and then you have this whole state board of directors that you kind of get to direct. How was that process for you? Like some people are elected, and then you appoint some people. How was that process of building the board of directors?
Well, I mean, my theme this year is Together as One Team. What I was promoting right from the beginning is putting together a comprehensive team that's there for our membership across the entire state. I believe that our local chapters and our state organization can really grow and have a larger impact in their community if everyone's working together with the same common goal. I mean, you and I, you may be more of a fan of a spaghetti dinner project that you guys do here in town, and I may be more of a fan of your haunted house project that you guys do in town.
Yes.
But just because we both have different projects that we're passionate about, if we're both promoting the agenda together, we can both promote both projects and really put that in a position where we're bettering our community and ourselves, which is truly our ultimate goal.
I love it. The Together as One Team has been an excellent theme. And when I saw you kind of put your hat in the ring to run for president and started talking about that, that's what the Jaycees do to me. It's when we work together and we're friends and there's the camaraderie, there's no stopping where we can go and the things that we can do and the impact that we can make in the state. And when I heard you kind of say Together as One Team, I said, you know what, he's got the right idea. And the leadership that you've already shown, I think, is taking the Michigan Jaycees and through that, the Wyandotte Jaycees and all of our chapters to a better place. So I'm
and
excited
one thing
about
that I've been trying to stress is it really, truly isn't about myself, or it isn't about you, who happened to be our secretary on the board this year. It's about what we need to do for this organization. So it's not what's going to make me better, it's what's going to make the organization better.
Right. I like that. When you can step out of the way and I don't need the credit and let's just get things done, that's kind of when the best things happen. So I love that. One thing we talked a little bit about the conferences that we do. We do a trimesterly conference. This is where the state of Michigan gets together. All the chapters bring all their delegates and people together, and it's a big party, but it's also a leadership conference where we're getting trainings during the day and we're receiving awards. So one thing I'd like to talk about, and hopefully they can get a shot of it, is the Wyandotte Jaycees won the chapter of the trimester for the first trimester of 2017. Tell us a little bit about chapter of the trimester and what that means.
Well, our chapters throughout the state get to submit a submission on why they believe that possibly they should be the chapter of the trimester. And then we as the state board get to go through those submissions and really pick and choose the best of the best to recognize. And the Wyandotte Jaycees really put together not only some strong programming, but you guys are really doing everything and taking everything and doing it in the right way to really grow your chapter and grow your community this year. So it was my belief, with you guys working towards growing your membership, growing your projects, growing your board, that you guys were worthy of the Chapter of the Trimester recognition this trimester, and that's why Wyandotte took home that trophy.
Oh, we appreciate it, and we're super proud of it. And I don't know if you know our president, Sean Abshire, too well, but he's a man that's rarely shaken, very, direct. And when he heard that we were the Chapter of the Trimester, we were all surprised. But Sean was ultimately like, whoa, is this really happening, guys? And just watching the look on his face to see his leadership winning an award here in Wyandotte was awesome.
And part of the recognition we do at our leadership conferences really is for that, to really motivate our chapters and motivate our leaders and our members, and let them take that motivation home and really do better things for their community. And I challenge you guys to work hard this trimester, because there's nothing that prevents you from taking that award home at the end of this trimester. Although it is a traveling trophy, it does historically make its way around the state. I mean, as the state president this year, whoever the best chapter is who's going to hold on to it.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of folks on our board of directors that said we need to do everything we can to keep this thing in Wyandotte. So, but that just, like you said, it makes us better, and I think the programming will be improved because of something like this. So that's really great. You were talking a little bit about signature projects and things that the Michigan Jaycees do. We have a signature project this year. Would you like to tell us about it?
Sure. When we sat down this year as a state board and really looked at something we wanted to do across the entire state, several members of my board were really passionate about doing an anti-bullying project. They believed that, and actually, if you really pay attention to Facebook and news and everywhere else you seem to look nowadays, there really is a problem out there, especially with social media and bullying. So what we put together is a signature project series that our chapters can take and run projects throughout the state to help combat some of the bullying that's going on. And really our desire is because not a lot of our chapters were doing bullying projects or anti-bullying projects, was to see if we could get, even half of our chapters, 15, 16, 17 chapters this year, to do an anti-bullying project, so we can really present that and share that at mass media wise that we've done this, and we're making this impact on this one core issue throughout the entire state. And not only are we looking to give back to our communities, to grow our communities and grow our chapters, we're looking to grow our membership. We're looking to add chapters. And having signature projects like the anti-bullying signature project really is setting us up to get inroads into new communities that don't currently have a junior chamber chapter, and maybe they want one.
Excellent. One thing I've noticed, I've been a Jaycee since 2004, is the Jaycees have been known for things throughout the years. We did the Get Out the Vote, and we helped the firefighters, and we run haunted houses. But I feel like, and I think this is where you were going with it too, is we're lacking a focus. And hopefully this anti-bullying campaign can really become that focus and help the Jaycees be visible in the community again and bring some people back to us. So who are the Jaycees for? Like, what's our age group?
Well, our membership is for individuals between the age of 21 and 40. And a lot of our chapters look at it as a business networking organization. I look at it as more of what you're looking for it to be for you. I joined the Jaycees because I wanted a better balance in my life. I wanted to have more than just my work and family life, and be able to give back to the community. And obviously I've gotten a whole lot more from that. I've grown as a leader personally and professionally. I've made some remarkable friends in this organization, and the experiences that I've received from this organization are far more than what I could even possibly give back, even being state president this year.
I totally agree with that. When you get involved and start doing stuff, the Jaycees give more to you than you could ever give to them.
Absolutely.
And it's the most amazing thing in the world. What are some of your favorite projects? Well, first off, what chapter did you come from? I know you're the Michigan president now, but where were your roots?
Well, I joined the Livonia Jaycees back in 2010. Livonia is where my law firm is. My wife and
Right
I
on.
happen to live in Wixom, which is a small community in Oakland County. And, you know, right from the get-go, I got involved with Livonia, and then I moved from the Livonia Jaycees to being involved on the state level, and obviously that's where I led to being state president this year. I mean, there's so many different projects throughout the state that are remarkable that we could talk about. A lot of our chapters do festivals. Just last weekend, Frankenmuth Jaycees just did their World Expo of Beer, which is just huge.
It's a phenomenal, phenomenal project. We're doing a small version called the Downriver Beer Summit, and hope it can be anything like World Expo Beer. They do a great job with that.
Well, I mean, if you're even 5% of what that festival was, you're a success. You know, I'm looking forward to going up to Sheboygan this coming weekend. They have a off-road vehicle event. I've never been on an off-road vehicle before.
This should be exciting for you.
My wife just wanted to make sure the life insurance was paid before I went up there.
Yeah, well, being a legal man, I'm sure it is.
But I mean, there's so many wonderful events, from parades to carnivals to Easter egg breakfasts to your haunted house that you guys were talking about earlier today. I mean, I'm just excited to see all of these projects that every chapter feels is important for their community, because that's what's really awesome about the Jaycees. We don't go out and we tell Wyandotte that you need to do this event, or tell Sheboygan that they need to do this event. Our chapters are charged with looking for projects to run in their communities that their membership and their communities want.
Right.
And obviously, an off-road vehicle event would not probably work the same way in Wyandotte or Livonia as it does in Sheboygan.
Right. Well, that's cool. And on that note, I'd like to say thanks very much, Peter Behrmann, Mr. State Jaycees President, for coming down.
For inviting me.
On the topic of projects from around the state, we'd like to show everybody on the screen here a bunch of projects that we've compiled from across the state that some of our Jaycee friends have sent to us, so that maybe some people can get involved. Yeah,
if you're looking to get involved, I mean, just going out and attending some of these projects in different parts of the state, it's a great way to meet more people, make some lifelong friends, really get involved in your community, and not only give something back, but you'll receive twofold in return.
Totally agreed. Thanks again, Pete.
Thanks, Steve.
Well done. I'm here with my second guest and good friend, Councilwoman Megan Maiani.
Thanks for having me today, Steve.
Welcome to the show. This is so good. So you just got elected to be a councilwoman. Tell me about that. That is amazing to me.
It's kind of crazy. I talked to Mayor Peterson about it at length, about running and being a young voice for the city and getting involved in the leadership. And going into it, there were 14 of us. And all of them were men, so I really, with a lot of knowledge in the city too, and I really didn't think I was going to do as well as I did, and watching the results on the day of, seeing myself come in top 5 in most of the precincts, I was starting to get really excited and thinking I really have to do this now, like it's real. And so to see the support of the city and have their confidence in a young leader is something that is really awesome, and hopefully it inspires more women, since I'm the only woman out of the 7 men that make up the total council, including Mayor Peterson, and then also our assessor and our treasurer are both males as well. I'm hoping that it inspires more women in 4 years to come out, and younger leaders as well, because we have different types of ideas, and if we want to move Wyandotte forward, we need some more millennials and younger generations to help us.
Right on. I like that you're holding down the fort of the young folks and the women folks. That's good stuff.
Got both of them.
Yep. So speaking of young leaders, you're also a Wyandotte Jaycee too. Did being in the Jaycees help you prepare for this at all?
I think so, because being involved in a lot of the projects that I have been involved in the Jaycees, it's helped me to develop the leadership skills and also the planning skills, which is really going to help with council. You have to plan, you have to go out and seek your information. The events that I have planned, I have to deal with the police chief and different leaders in the community, and so you just it helps you to learn to be able to ask questions and have a plan in place before you present stuff.
Rock and roll. I think it's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the road to victory. So I know one thing early on Facebook, you're on social media, which was super important, but you said, hey, I have these signs, and immediately I was like, I need a Megan Maiani sign in my yard. So tell us a little bit about the road to victory.
Yeah, so I didn't do much campaigning, only because a couple of the council members mentioned it. With the election being in May, you're campaigning throughout a lot of colder weather, and this year it didn't get warm very quickly.
No.
So you're trying to put signs in the ground, and it's cold, and you're beating them in with hammers and trying to stick them in these harder grounds, and then it's hard to get out and talk to people when it's so cold. People don't want to leave their door open and talk to you,
right?
And they're not going to invite a stranger into their home right away to start talking to them. So I did learn that I need to campaign a lot more next time and talk to more people. But it was just going to the Meet the Candidates that the Garfield community held at the Copeland Center, and talking with people there and really making yourself available to people and letting them know that they can ask you questions. And Meet the Candidates at the museum was another big one, where people asked some pretty deep questions that you didn't think about. In Maria Brohl of Wyandotte Moving Forward, it's a Facebook group and a community group that we're trying to put together. She put out a questionnaire, and I think that really helped. It reached over 6,000 people.
Excellent.
So just making yourself transparent and letting people know you're there and they can come to you, I think, was a big accomplishment for me and helped me get a lot of support.
Excellent. I read a lot of the posts that you put out, and especially some of those questionnaires. And one thing that made you stand out to me, I mean, I already knew you as a person and was ready to vote for you, but you were very honest. And I think other people echoed that too. It said, you know what, Megan just is telling me the truth, and it's very honest, and we need that in our governmental leadership. And I think you brought that to the table, and people recognize that.
And somebody actually critiqued me about it. It was a negative post on Facebook from somebody, you're not going to have 100% support every time in anything.
Yeah.
And their negative critique was that I was too honest in those questionnaires and said I didn't know about certain things. But not every council person that's on the council knows everything when they go in. You have to start somewhere. And I think, to me, that was actually a benefit and a pro, not a con, like this person pointed out, because I'm willing to say I don't know everything, and there are areas that I don't know about, but with the support of all of the council, then I can learn, and they'll be willing to teach me. So
I agree with that.
I definitely think that's a pro and not a con.
It is a pro. How much do you think you can get done pretending that you know what the problem is or you know the answer? Let's really be serious and figure it out. That's where solutions come from.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, and it is a pro. Tell us a little bit about, you're chairing a huge event, and you've done this for many years for the Wyandotte Jaycees. What's the big event you're chairing this year for us? Yeah,
so this will be the 5th year chairing the beer tent down at the Wyandotte Street Fair. So it's the largest fundraiser for the special events group in Wyandotte. It brings in hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the beer tent is 4 days. We're open from 12 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night, and we just pour beer for 4 straight days.
Yep.
A lot of people coming through there. You're taking tickets. We don't ID them, but we have the right to ID them if they look underage. So some of us do spend time doing that as well. It's a lot of work.
And do you have a favorite, or are they all kind of the same? I mean, I love pouring beer. I love you're just going so fast, and all you're doing is filling up the cups and making sure the customers are served. Do you have like a favorite beer tent or a favorite part of the beer tent?
I think, like you said, pouring the beer, the interaction with the different people in Wyandotte, you get to see some people that you might not have seen since you've grown up. It's a big reunion in the city when the beer tent time comes around and street fair time comes around. But it's just like making those personal connections and remembering them the next time they come through. You know their order, and it also helps us as a community group as well, because when you're remembering certain things about them, then they're more apt to throw in a tip, and the tips come right back to the community. They go back to Easter egg hunt and the baskets around the holidays. So that's my favorite part of it.
That's awesome. There's a gentleman that comes every year. He's a sunglasses guy from Jamaica, and he's usually there during the day. And I just love talking to him because he's straight from the homeland, and he just loves the sunshine and just being out there and things like that. Stick strongly in my mind, like these unique people that come and drink some beer and hang out at the tent. And there's nothing like listening to some great rock and roll music or some dance music and pouring some beers and making sure people are happy and watching it go down. I think that is so cool.
Yeah, and Heather's done a great job keeping some of the really good bands around. Again, we have 4 great bands that are going to be there all 4 nights. So that really helps because the bands attract the people.
That's right. That's what brings them to the doorstep. So I'm looking forward to serving some beers, that's for sure. Tell us a little bit about Women of Wyandotte. Are you still deeply involved?
So Women of Wyandotte has kind of been put on hold for a couple of years. I think it's been 2 years now since they've done the award ceremony that we had a couple of years ago when I first got involved with the Wyandotte Jaycees. Sherry Fricke's in charge of that group. So hopefully we can get that back together.
I would love to see that.
It going again because it was a great group that we had.
We have a lot of young women in the Jaycees, and I remember hearing about Women of Wyandotte, I think through Julie Abshire. And a lot of our Jaycees immediately went to that group that were women, Michelle Kelly, yourself, Julie Abshire, and I liked that camaraderie and being able to explore that too. So hopefully that does come back.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a good group.
Tell us a little bit, when you first joined, I think when I first met you, you were our candidate for Outstanding Young Michigander. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one day I was at home and John Dewring, I don't know if he was the president at the time or a general member, but he called me and said he wanted to nominate me for an award. Could I stop by the haunted house and talk with him more about an award? And a lot of that came to play from Relay for Life. That's when I learned of the Jaycees. I was chairing a portion of the Relay for Life, and the Wyandotte Jaycees were heavily involved with them at that time. And so I went up to the haunted house and talked with John, gave him some information, helped at the haunted house that night, and then I got invited to the Outstanding Young Leader ceremony within the Women of Wyandotte ceremony that year. And from there I went to the Outstanding Young Michigander ceremony out in Lansing. And that was really awesome to hear of the stories of all of the people that were there. We have a lot of great people in the Jaycees that are outstanding young leaders, and
I agree.
Just the camaraderie that we formed and the stories and videos. They played a video of accomplishments and pictures from everything you're involved in. It was just a really nice time.
Okay, so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about professionally. And I think a lot of this, you're just so outgoing and you're caring and loving, and you want to make the world a better place, and that just shows right through you. Through work, tell us what you do a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm a registered nurse at Children's Hospital. I hold many hats there. I started in their float pool, which is being trained in all the different units of the hospital.
Okay.
And from there I worked my way into what's called a SWAT nurse, which is the Special Work Assignment Team. You respond to a lot of situations when patients aren't doing well. It's called codes in the hospital and rapid responses. And you go around to the entire hospital and help out everywhere.
Okay.
So you don't have a specific patient assignment. You just go and help out and give that extra helping hand because there's always work to be done in a hospital. There's never idle time.
Yeah.
And then from there, my manager asked me 2 years ago now if I would come into nursing leadership. So for the past 2 years, I've been working as a SWAT nurse part-time, and then I work as a hospital administrator, as a nursing supervisor and bed coordinator as well.
Excellent. And tell us real quick, we're running out of time a little bit, but you make special trips to Guatemala, is that right? Tell us a little bit about that. I think that is an amazing thing you do.
So Guatemala is something I started 3 years ago. We go to an orphanage in Guatemala City. There's 40 children there, and some of the things we do is we go into the community and build stoves for people because they just have little metal huts, and all the smoke backs up and the kids breathe it in. So if we can build the stoves, it exhausts the fumes out of the house. Another awesome thing we did that the Jaycees helped with is when I went in July one year, we started a school, and then in December we were able to finish the school with a donation from the Wyandotte Jaycees from Beer Tent. We didn't have a barbecue afterwards to celebrate all the volunteers, but they took the money and donated money, and we were able to help finish a school in Guatemala on the side of a mountain.
That is fantastic. Megan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And coming out and talking to us. And for the beer tent is the July 12th through 15th this year. Come out and see us. Throw some money in the tip jar. Maybe we'll do something amazing with it. And if you guys will pay attention, up on the screen after this segment will be some ways you can get involved and the contact information for you to become a Jaycee. Check it out. It's worth it. thanks for watching another great episode of Jaycees TV. I'd like to thank our guests, Michigan Jaycees President Peter Behrmann, and our newly elected Councilwoman, also a Wyandotte JC, Megan Maiani. Thank you guys very much for being on the show and talking a little bit about leadership with me. Guys, check out our website, www.wyandottejcs.org. You get to learn a lot more about the events that we're promoting and some of the things that we're doing, and you get to see more what we're about. Check that out. Also, every second Tuesday of the month at 7:30 p.m., here in Wyandotte at our Copeland Center, we have our general membership meeting. And this is where you get to meet face-to-face with the Jaycees to see what we're doing. So guys, come on down to the general membership meeting every second Tuesday at the Copeland Center. Thank you guys very much for watching the show. Look forward to seeing you again next time. Wyandotte what?